Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's The Ramsey Show, where we help people build wealth, do work that they love, and create actual amazing relationships. Dr. John Delony, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Thank you for joining us, America. We're so glad you are here. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Brennan is with us in Tampa. Hi, Brennan. How are you?
Good, Dave. How are you doing?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
Hey, long-time listener, and appreciate you taking my phone call. I did not expect to actually have you answer. But, yeah, if you don't mind helping me, I've got some questions for you.
We're here for you, brother. What's up?
Okay, so I have a house that I still own in Colorado. I'm currently living in Florida. I purchased, I guess, the second house in Florida. And over the past 2 years, we've been living in Florida and grown to love the state, and we want to make it a full-time thing. However, all of my family and a lot of good friends are still back in Colorado, and we like to go back there for the summers since I can work really from anywhere. My wife stays home with our 3 boys, and to further complicate things, I bought, I'm selling the current house we bought 2 years ago in Florida to upgrade to a larger home. And I need to know what best steps I need to take or get your opinion on what I should do moving forward with selling these homes and how you would.
You still have a house in Colorado?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. All right. Because you might go back there for a couple months of summer.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. And do you have mortgages on all this?
I do.
On both of them?
On both, yes.
Okay. And what do you guys make? What do you make? Your wife stays home with the boys.
I make $210 a year.
Okay. Way to go, man. You're killing it. How old are you?
36.
Okay. The house in Colorado is the old girlfriend you cut loose because you got married.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
It does.
Yeah, you got.
But she's pretty, Dave. She's pretty.
He's still got one toe in the old pond, right? And that's what's going on here, because there's nothing about this that makes financial sense.
Absolutely not.
No, I mean, you could rent the freaking top of the Ritz for what you're paying for that house for a couple months a year.
Right.
Yeah, so you know, there's nothing about it that makes financial sense. It's just cut it loose, man. Cut it loose. It's the last thing that says I'm living in Florida, and use that money to pay cash for the other house. It'll pay off the other house, won't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah, man.
What are you doing, man?
It's almost like I've done this before. Yeah.
Yeah, you got to when you get married, you got to You got to unfollow the old girlfriend.
You have to burn all the old phone numbers.
Yeah.
That's it. So yeah. The or whatever you do in the digital world. But yeah. Anyway, yeah. Did I miss something there?
No, I also wonder how easy it is for the family to say, oh no, we still got a place. We still got a place.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Everybody's just kind of playing, but
I don't live there anymore.
Yeah.
And here's interesting. Listen to this. I currently live in Florida.
Right.
That's how he opened, right? But then later on, we've grown to love this and are going to make it our home. So the decision is now made, but it was like, they're both there, yeah.
He still loves his old girlfriend, Dave.
Well, Colorado's awesome.
It is awesome.
Nothing wrong with Colorado. And his family's back there, so that's reasonable. That's nothing. Yeah, but it's causing you to make a bad financial decision. That's why we're poking fun at you. So at the decision, not at you.
And so in real time, this is the case, then he's going to save some money and then get a really nice Airbnb for the 2 months he's there.
Yeah, you can get it. And probably actually something more vacation-y than the old residential suburb house he's got back
And somebody's going to come clean up. Somebody's going to take care of the place.
Get an A-frame in the mountain, right?
There you go.
That kind of stuff. Because I'm guessing that house isn't that. I might be wrong, but yeah. So, I'm just going to have a great life there in Florida and plan my visits back home to see the family and do those in an enjoyable way and work there a couple of weeks a year. I've got
some good friends that are in their 40s that they do that with Jackson Hole. When they first got married, they spent 2 years in Jackson Hole, and then they live here now. And but they go back a lot for the summer. They just love it, and the summers are particularly beautiful. So, yeah, that's the same kind of thing. You can do that, but you don't need to own something to do that. The only way you would own something there is if everything else is paid off and you have the money for a second home, and it's a toy. So it'd be like a ski home or something in Colorado, that kind of thing, a mountain home, right? Or it's like a lake house, a beach house. It's those kinds. It's fall in that category, but not the I'm still hanging on to where I used to live home.
And I'm mortgaging.
In the meantime.
In the meantime, yeah.
Jason's in Greenville. Hi, Jason. What's up? Hey, Jason?
How you doing, babe? Sorry.
How can we help?
My wife and I are both teachers, and we are 3 years away from state retirement here in South Carolina. And so we'll be 48 when we, can retire from teaching with a pension. I'm just wondering if I should.
What are you going to do with the rest of your life?
Whatever makes me feel good, I guess, or makes me happy.
Bad plan.
That's a terrible plan, dude. Don't do that.
Hedonism leads to heart attacks.
We have nothing. We have side jobs now. I'm a chef for a boys and girls camp in the summer.
That's not what I'm talking about.
We're foster parents.
Jason, neither one of these are even close, and you know it. So you're 48 freaking years old. You have another 50 years on the planet, potentially. Chefing at the summer camp ain't going to cut it for half a century, okay? Not going to work. So what are you going to do with your life? If you can answer that question, then sure. That's going to be your encore career after teaching. It doesn't have to be a 40-hour-a-week grind. It might be you open a business. It might be you do this or that, but it's something you put your hand to the plow.
Yeah, we are. It is cooking. That's my passion.
Oh, you want to be a chef. You want to open a full-time chef thing. You're going to be a catering or in-home private chef or something like that. Is that right? Hello? This guy's got phone problems. Whatever you do, don't go in the phone business. Yeah. You're 0 for 2 on the phone, man.
Hey, this idea, and it's a weird cancer that's somehow grown out of the American dream of I want to work real hard so I can do nothing. That is a recipe for disaster, relationally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. It'll collapse you.
You will not. There's no great joy except in serving. Fishing and golf, you'll just get fat. Don't do it. This is The Ramsey Show.
Hey guys, I've told you before about Christian Healthcare Ministries, a health cost-sharing ministry. But listen to Jenna, a CHM member. She says, one of my biggest concerns about entrepreneurship and motherhood was figuring out how to take care of our health expenses. But we have found a solution that works for us in an incredible way. She loves that with CHM, she can help other families who need it and receive help back when her own family has an eligible medical event. CHM has been a godsend for Jenna. That's her CHM story, and it could be yours. Learn more and join at chministries.org/budget.
Dr. John Delony, Ramsey personality, is my co-host. Bakersfield, California. David is with us. Hi, Dave. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you guys?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
My question is, my wife and I are in the process of building a home. and have a construction loan, and I'm kind of newer to listening to your show, so now I'm trying to do things probably in reverse order because things are already underway.
Mm-hmm.
But I have a 457 account from a prior employer it's about $100,000 that I'm able to cash out, and I'm wondering if it would be a good idea to cash that out in order to try to shoot for getting it as a 15-year mortgage when that time comes at the end of the construction loan.
How old are you?
33.
Are you not going to be subject to penalties on that?
Because I changed employer, so I'm maxing out a 457 with a new employer now, and I still have a pension. It's just sitting there, not getting anything added to it. But
that wasn't my
so
question. I'm pretty sure you have a 10% penalty plus your tax rate on that.
So it'll just be the tax rate from the research I've looked into and talking to the investment company that I was with.
Okay. It has nothing to do with you reinvesting into the other. It's possible that the 457s take several different forms, so it's possible what you're saying is true, but unlikely. So I'm questioning that. You're definitely going to get your taxes on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so what's your household income?
It's expected to be about $450 before taxes this year.
Okay, and so you're going to get hit with 38% of this. You're going to lose almost 40 cents on the dollar. How much is in the 457?
It's about $100,000. It keeps fluctuating, but
yeah, so you're going to send the government about 40 and put 60 on your mortgage if you do this without a penalty.
Yeah, that's a hard hit.
Yeah, it's just your tax rate.
Because I've done your.
You make a lot of money and you're going to get taxed. I don't know what California is going to do to you, but that's what federal's going to do to you. You might have to add California into that too. Because at 450, didn't they just pass like a 15% we hate the rich tax there?
Yeah, I'm hoping that all the things we're trying to do to reduce the income and get it below, but
below what?
Yeah.
I mean, you make 450.
Well,
you're not going to have enough deductions to get it down to 50. I mean, yeah. So, I mean, that's the consideration. I don't know what you're going to have from California. I've just got a couple of friends that left there after this last piece of legislation because they said no more. You're not taking my stuff no more. So they're out, and their income earners higher than you. But their whole reason was that the thing was a graduated thing and it was aimed only at wealthy people, and the wealthy people aren't going to stay. So it's kind of interesting. They're not going to get it, but it's what always happens with this. But anyway. All that to say, if you're going to do it, you need to know exactly what that picture is, and it's not internet advice that you need. It's tax advice. And then you say, okay, if it's 40% federal, or 38, okay, which I'm pretty sure that's right, and there's no 10%, which is fine in your situation, and then in addition to that, California is going to hit you for X. Let's call that 10. Well, now we're at almost 50%. So your 100,000 is going to be 50,000.
Yeah, that's less than I expected.
Yeah. If that's the case, you may not want to do this. I'm thinking there may be another angle on this that you want to do. The good news is you make a lot of money and you got a lot of other ways to get yourself out of debt and get yourself on a stronger foundation without having to get destroyed by a state and federal government system. So I don't know. Look at it and find out if you don't have a good tax person, you can go to RamseySolutions.com and click on the endorsed local providers. That's what we call them, ELPs for taxes. They're Ramsey trusted. We probably got 1,000 of them or something around the nation that are all top notch. Sit down with one of those people, run the numbers out so that you're making the decision however you make it with full disclosure to your own brain, right? And because I got a feeling you're a smart guy. Usually dumb people don't make 450, okay? So I think you'll be able to figure out, oh, I'm not doing that, or, oh, yeah, that's cool, I'm still going to do it. Okay, and you can do that and get comfortable with it. But what you don't want to do is just say, I Googled it, and then tax time comes and I'm screwed because I didn't really understand. You don't want to do that. There's too much money involved here. So...
And I almost think the meta question is, Dave, I hate even using that word, but the bigger question is when you start to build a house on land, it's real easy to get excited and to not at the front end count the cost, and those things can get out from under you really quick, and all of a sudden you find yourself cashing out retirement plan. You find yourself trying to find money.
Yeah, that wasn't
wasn't
what he said.
Right.
And I honestly, I didn't hear anything in his story that sounded that way. I mean, I would have jumped on it, but yeah, that can happen. Scope creep happens all the time.
That's a good way to call it.
When you're building, the decorator forgets that there's a thing called a budget. The spouse forgets that there's a thing called a decorator, and then you get into this stuff, right? I wouldn't know anybody that's ever happened to, but
I've never seen you slam the computer down ever, not one time.
So, no, we've actually learned to do it, but the first time we did it, it was not good. So, yeah. What he said is he came late to this party, this Ramsey party, and he's liking what he's hearing, but he's already committed on this.
The ball's going down the hill.
And I set this whole deal up on a 30, and I like what you're saying about doing a 15, so I'd rather do that. That's what I heard, and I actually believe him.
Yeah, so, I believe him. So what do you tell folks, Dave, when they found themselves the ship is out of the harbor, it's in the open sea, and then they find us? Is it okay to land the plane wherever where they took off from? Sometimes you got to, like, I'm walking into closing, I got a 30-year note, I don't have the money on a 15, and now I'm going to work to refi this down the road.
No, I wouldn't refi it. I just pay it extra and
pay it
off at 15. Yeah, whatever the situation is, what you've got to decide is, did I do something that's going to take me 10 years to walk through and get the direction changed, or if so, you probably got a mess, right? Or did I do something that if I really focus on the new information that I have, it might set me back a year, but I'm going to keep going.
Okay.
Yeah. Then you got to decide how big the damage is.
Okay.
So if you let me give you an example. You signed up for a closing, and the payment is on a 30-year, and the payment is 55% of your take-home pay. Well, you're screwed.
Right.
Okay. So what you need to do is close the house and put a for sale sign in the yard. Because you're not going to get out of that one alive. Okay. But I took out a 30 instead of a 15, and I've actually got some margin, and I can pay it like it's a 15, but I never thought of that before hearing you. You're not screwed, right? That's a different thing. Okay. So you just got to assess how much damage you've done to yourself now that you've got new information to measure it by. And then you can decide how dramatic you have to be about the unwinding of all this. Interesting thing. Talk about getting into debt and getting out of debt as an example. Larry Burkett used to teach this stuff. He was a guy that I used to hear a million years ago and got to be friends with him. He was a Christian teacher on what the Bible says about money on Christian radio. And he was an icon in that space and taught me a lot. And he used to say that when they were coaching with folks, they would see people, if it takes you 3 years to get into the debt, expect it to take you a year and a half to get out. If you turn the ship and be very intense. So if you've been making this mess for a decade, don't be surprised it takes you 5 years to get out of the mess you took you a decade.
That's a good algorithm. I like that.
You know, and even if you get very focused and because when you were making the mess, you were kind of, you're just kind of wandering. And when you're cleaning up the mess, you're very focused and intense. So you can cut the time down, but don't expect to clean up a decade-long mess in 26 minutes.
Okay.
You're expected to take a little while. You dug yourself a freaking hole here. So that's his. Larry would have never said that way, but he was a gentleman. He was not on mainstream talk radio. This is The Ramsey Show. Your home is probably the biggest purchase you'll ever make. And with the real estate market like it is now, you'll need a mortgage company you can trust. That's Churchill Mortgage. You guys, buying a home is not a button push. It's a process. It takes building a relationship with an expert who will dig into the details and give you peace of mind without busting your budget. Churchill is one of the highest rated lenders in the country. And they're Ramsey trusted because they do what's right for you. Go to churchillmortgage.com to get started. Dr. John Delony, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host. Thank you for joining us, America. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Brandon is up. Hey, Brandon in Atlanta, how are you?
Doing well. Hey, Dave, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. What's up?
Hey, Dave. So I just got a hold of the Total Money Makeover about 2 weeks ago, and I finished it. I'm calling because I'm a graduate from Florida. I just moved here to Georgia for business purposes.
Cool. What'd you get your degree in?
Marketing.
Cool. So you got the new job, huh?
Yeah. Yeah,
Cool.
I actually work in the insurance industry, so I just finished my PNC and life and health license.
Yeah.
But I use a lot of the marketing for my soft wash business, which is really why I moved over here
Yeah.
to Sacrifice. So here's my thing. My monthly income is $27.14 a month for insurance,
Mm-hmm.
and for the year I just opened the business in March, and at the end of the year 2023, revenue was $72K.
Mm-hmm.
So my debt is $31,000 in student loans and $33,000 in a Ford F-150.
Mm.
So.
Kind of lost your mind on
My
the truck,
game
dude.
plan, I know. My game plan is to immediately start attacking the student loans, and then as soon as I finish that, principal on the truck, get that out of the way. Because really,
Good for you.
although I'm making money, in my head, I'm not. After reading your book, I'm really
Good.
changed my thought process.
Good. You're right on
So-
track, man. Yeah, because you need $65,000 and you make $110. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And it's really like I'm not satisfied until I'm out of debt, and
Good.
I'm learning. Well, first and foremost, I want to say thank you for writing that book. I mean, you don't realize how much people you probably help.
Well, thank you for reading it. I wrote it when you were born. That's amazing. Very cool. It's been rewritten a
right?
couple of times. We've re-upped it. We're re-upping it for the 20th anniversary. It's coming out again in April. But yeah, man,
wow.
that's very cool. I'm proud of you. You're doing good work, and you read something and you believed it. Now you're going to act on it. You're why we're here. We're proud for you. How can we help other than that?
Okay, so after I finish my debt snowball,
Mm-hmm.
I already have my emergency fund. I'm going to attack my 6 month
Wait. You already have your emergency. What's your emergency fund? How much?
$1,000.
Oh, your first baby step, your little emergency
Yeah,
fund. Okay.
yeah.
Now,
Yeah,
then,
yeah,
when
I'm
you finish
sorry.
finish getting out of debt, then you build the emergency fund, baby step 3, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so my question is, I do Mondays, all right, so Monday through Friday, except Tuesdays, it's paid, but I work in insurance, and then Tuesdays, Saturdays, Sundays, I'm running the show for the business. Should I be pulling out income from that and paying myself? What I'm doing now is I leave it in the business. Like, I don't touch that money. But I don't know if I should be paying myself and then using
Why
that
would you
towards
not
my
pay
smoke.
yourself? You made $72,000 taxable income. Where's that go?
What do you mean?
In 23, you said you made $72,000 on your business. Was that
Yes.
gross revenue or taxable?
That was gross revenue.
Oh, you don't make $110,000. Okay. I thought you meant you made 72. You mean you grossed 72. What's your net profit on the 72? What was your taxes on that?
So my taxes was 30%.
It wasn't on 72 because you didn't make 72. You brought in 72, but you had expenses.
Exactly. My net income, in other words, was 60, was a little under 60. So
Oh,
like
God, you got a
58.
huge margin in this deal.
Yeah, I do now.
Hardly any expenses.
Yeah, it's a learning curve. Like,
So
when
where
I
did
was
that
in Florida,
60,000 go?
That 60,000 is sitting in the bank.
Great. Pay off your truck
Right?
today.
That's what I'm thinking. Now,
Yeah.
I'm afraid, though, if I take
Why are
30
you
and
afraid?
I'm not afraid. And my question is, if I pull out 30 and pay off the truck, and I want the business to grow. I don't want it to be like, oh, you got 30 and it's, I believe it will grow. I'm going to make sure it grows. It's just,
It doesn't
needed
cost you
advice
anything to grow it. You grew it from nothing, brought in 72,
Yeah,
netted 60. So do that again.
Yeah, you're right. And that's why I was asking, because people have advised me, dude,
People
take an
are
SBA loan, but I'm
idiots.
like, I do not want to deal with somebody owning my life.
Nobody's going to own your life. You're doing great, man. If you take this, you're going to make more. If you don't reinvest a dime into this business, you didn't put any money into it last year, did you?
No.
If you don't reinvest, so don't put any money into it this year and grow it from 70 to 110 and net 80 on that. There's nothing to be afraid of.
I hear you.
I'm more afraid of your truck payment than I am all this other junk.
Yeah, I just got this truck, and I mean,
know.
it's all nice and stuff, but now I'm realizing, like, really?
Yeah, really.
What was I thinking? And it's after reading the book, you know? It's
I'm going to pay both the truck and the student loan off by the 1st of June. Ready, set, go.
Agreed.
Okay.
Well,
you're the
thank you.
man. I love you, man. You're why I do this. This is so cool.
Hey, he agreed on national radio.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
a binding contract.
And we know where you live.
Exactly.
No, we don't.
With his
but-
soul. That's right.
That's a lock right there. Nancy's in Charleston, South Carolina. Hey, Nancy, what's up?
Hi, thank you for having me on the phone. I've been wanting to ask you this question. So I'm going to give you the question first.
Yes, ma'am.
Is it waste of money to sell my rental property, even though I might lose about $250,000 from capital gains and fees and all that comes with selling the house? So
what? Stop. Can I ask you a couple questions? That's a lot of capital gains. That tells me that you're going to have a profit of over $1 million on this property.
Oh, wait. Okay, so then let me give you the numbers, okay?
Okay, all right.
So the house is worth $800,000.
Right. How long have you owned
And then we
it?
bought it 30 years.
Okay.
And it was $120,000.
Have you depreciated it on your taxes when you did the taxes?
You know, that I don't know. Do you have somebody doing your taxes and helping you? Yes.
Okay. They've been writing the house off during the time you've been renting it, and so you have a basis of close to zero. So your taxes will be around 15% of $800,000 minus the expenses to sell it. So, I mean, you probably have maybe $100,000 in taxes.
Okay. Okay. Good.
Who told you 220?
I was just looking up like how much the capital gains are, and then because my father is from a foreign country, and I saw that it was 30% of capital gains, and in my part would be 20%. So,
No, capital gains are 15% in the United States. Is this in the United States we're talking about?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, it's 15%. Unless you make over $400,000, and then it's 20%. Is your household income over $400,000?
No.
Okay, then it's
No,
it's
not at all.
15% of your gain, and your gain is probably all of it because they probably depreciated your basis down to zero. So it's going to be about 15% of 800 minus sales expenses. So before you make this decision, sit down with a tax professional and let them actually do the calculations, not some goober on the radio like me. I think I'm pretty close, but you need to know real numbers before you make a decision on something this big from a professional. So sit down with a good tax pro, let them calculate it out for you, and you're going to find it's going to be right around 100, but make sure it is. This is The Ramsey Show. Hey guys, Ramsey Solutions started small and grew fast. Because of that rapid growth, there were times when our systems slowed us down. That's why we switched to NetSuite. It works for us and it'll help your business too. Whether you're starting on a card table like I did, or you're well on your way to becoming a multi-million-dollar company, NetSuite can scale with you and help you communicate and plan better. Because you know your day-to-day up and down and sideways, but accounting, analytics, and supply chain are on another level. So maybe you're just not tech savvy. That can be okay. NetSuite will help at your speed and whatever your situation. More than 37,000 companies use NetSuite to know their numbers and their business better. So check out NetSuite today and find out how they can help you become the business you want to be 5 or 30 years from now. And right now, you can download NetSuite's free KPI checklist designed to give you consistently excellent performance at netsuite.com/Ramsey. That's netsuite.com/Ramsey. Dr. John Delony, Ramsey Personality. I'm Dave Ramsey, your host. Thanks for joining us. Kimberly is next. Kimberly is in Boston, Mass. Hi, Kimberly. How are you?
I'm good. How are you, Dave?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
All right. So here's the story. A year and a half ago, I got divorced and I remarried. And my husband now and I are trying to get situated and basically rebuild our lives and get our finances all in order. And right now, we can put it down on paper and like create a budget and stick to it, but it still seems somehow that we're overdrafting our accounts at least twice a month.
You wrote out a budget that causes you to overdraft? If you're sticking to your plan was to overdraft?
It wasn't my plan to overdraft, but
then you're not sticking to your plan.
I think we might have our budget off.
I think you're not sticking to your plan.
Yeah, who's not sticking to their plan?
Unless you wrote out a plan that says, I want to overdraft intentionally, you are obviously not executing the plan. Is that fair?
Fair, yes.
Okay. So you're not sticking to the plan. Why not?
Things like pop up that we weren't aware of and things like that. And I think that's where we're getting...
Like what? Pizza?
No, honestly, we go out to eat once a week.
Okay. Like what? What popped up?
Well, I had to get a lawyer to end up getting custody of my children from my ex.
When did that pop up?
That just popped up recently within the past couple of months.
Okay, and how much was that?
$3,000.
Okay. All right, what else has popped up?
I don't think we're paying attention to exactly like all the subscriptions that we have and things like that.
That's not a pop-up. That's an intentional exclusion.
Okay.
So your budget's not thorough. Okay, let's back up. You're not doing as badly as you think you are. Okay?
Okay.
And I'm not going to beat you up like you're a complete failure because you're not. Here's what normally happens when you start doing a budget. It takes 90 days for it to work. The first month, you suck at this because you've never done it. The first time you drove your car around the block, you weren't good at it. Okay? But now you drive a car without thinking, put on your makeup, eat a Big Mac, and change lanes. Right?
Yep.
Okay, that's what you'll get to later. But right now, you're brand new at this. And one of the things that happens when you're brand new in your first month of budgeting is you leave things out that you shouldn't have left out. You just didn't know. You forgot about them. Okay? Kids' activities at school. We didn't budget for it because we forgot they do that. Well, of course they do that. But when it comes up, it's kind of obvious. But when we were sitting down on a piece of paper or sitting down with the EveryDollar app, we didn't think of it. Okay? Lawyer's a different category. But subscriptions, I forgot about them. And then when I did my budget the first month and I looked down, it robbed the money out of my food budget. And so now I'm crashing over here. And well, you won't forget about them the next month. You're either going to cancel them or put them in the budget, right?
Yes.
Kids' activities, we're either going to not let them go or we're going to put them in the budget, right?
Yes.
What's another one? But some of these things, you have fewer and fewer surprises the longer you do this because you get better at it, and all the other surprises are now in the budget.
Okay.
After 90 days. So after 90 days, you'll be a budgeting pro. It takes 3 months. First month is really bad. Second month is a little better. And the last month, you've got it dialed in. Now, lawyer stuff, that is a legitimate, that's like the transmission falling out of your car. That is an emergency you couldn't see coming, and you don't have any money, right?
Correct.
Okay. All right. So that's a different thing. And that's not really a surprise because we knew the X was a jerk. That's why he's called the X. But overall, the lawyer bill is a surprise.
Yes.
Okay. So there's some things like that, but okay. Let me give you an example. A car breaking down is not a surprise. A $200 alternator going out on the car, a $400 alternator going out on the car. It's not a surprise. It absolutely is going to happen. It's just a matter of when. The only thing that's a surprise is the timing. We know the tires on your car are going to wear out. We know Christmas is in December. They don't move it. It's not a surprise, but it still sneaks up on people. So that's the kind of stuff. I think okay, number one, recommit to beans and rice and beans, no eating out, no going out to eat, no vacations. We're going to put a bunch of stuff on Craigslist and sell it, try to create some money. We may look at some extra income from doing some kind of side job, and we're going to be really, 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 really focused on this and get the EveryDollar app out and get the budget going because it's got a lot of categories that'll remind you of things you might otherwise have forgotten if you were just using a yellow pad to do this.
Yep.
Okay? But also give yourself a little grace. It does take 3 months to get good at it. No one does it the first month perfectly. There's no one that nerdy. If they were that nerdy, they were already doing it.
All right, Kimberly, I want to ask Dave a question, but I'm going to use you as an example. Is that cool?
Sure.
So, Dave, here's a concern I have across the board, and that is you make your first budget or your second budget, and then you've committed to living a debt-free life, and then a $3,000 expense pops up. That's pretty high. So let's say a $600 expense pops up.
Okay.
You're going to have to go into those other categories
Yep.
if you're going to stay committed. And you're going to, we're going to have to figure out how to do groceries for $75 instead of $125.
Yep.
We're going to have to figure out we're going to turn the air conditioner down. We're going to have to, or up. We're going to have to.
Well, you're probably going to go pick up a job.
Or go get a second. But this idea is like, no. We're going to go out to eat once a month. We're just going to overdraft.
Yeah.
What I don't want us to ever lose sight of is if something happens, something happens.
You have to, if the wind changes, you have to adjust the sails.
It's uncomfortable. It stinks. It's not what we planned, but it is.
Yeah.
Right? It's a reality.
No, I shouldn't say if. When the wind changes, adjust your sails. Because there's going to be stuff that's unexpected come at you, and then you go, okay, how are we going to handle this? So, like to John's point, Kimberly, one of the things Sharon and I did that we've had to teach other people to do, but it came natural to us. We were bankrupt. No one would loan us money. So we didn't have an option. We don't borrow money, but we also can't borrow money at that time, right? So we had to figure it out without debt. So we had to figure out, I got to put something, on Craigslist and sell it. I got to go work a side gig, and I need some money by Friday. Oh, my God. And so we had to, anytime something came up that hit us right square in the nose, we had to figure out, increase the income, and sell something and decrease some of the categories temporarily till we can get around the corner of this. We didn't have a choice. And so what our encouragement is to take overdraft, which is a form of debt, off the table. Disconnect overdraft. And quit, never, ever, ever let something come out of your account that causes overdraft again, ever again. Pretend like you're running a company for someone else, and if you ran it this poorly, they would fire you.
Okay.
And
it just creates a sense of fire and urgency.
Yeah, there's this absolute, absoluteness. That's not a word to this idea. There's this. You don't have an option, and when you burn the boats and you can't leave, you've got to deal with what's in front of you.
You'll innovate and figure it out.
Exactly. You got to innovate. You got to adjust the sails. So you're better at this than you think you are, and what you're facing, the distress and the frustration, and it was kind of knocking the confidence out of you, like this may not work. I may not be able to do this. You can do it. You can do it. What you're feeling, the emotion you're feeling, and the actual experience you're having is very normal. The trick is don't agree to live in it. Make adjustments so you don't live that way, okay?
Okay.
You can do this.
I'm proud of you.
Have you guys been through Financial Peace University?
We have not yet.
You need to go through. I'll give it to you. You got to go through it. Yeah, I'll give it to you, and I'll give you the Every Dollar app with connecting to the budget too, the upgrade, the premium. So you got the whole kit. And if you'll go do this stuff that I teach you, it'll work, Kimberly, 100%. But it never works instantly. We don't sell microwaves. We're in the crock pot business. It takes a minute. You got to cook it, baby. You can do it. You can do it. This is The Ramsey Show. From the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's the Ramsey Show, where we help people build wealth, do work that they love, and create actual amazing relationships. I'm Dave Ramsey, your host. Dr. John Delony, #1 best-selling author, host of the Dr. John Delony Show on the Ramsey Network, one of the more popular YouTube and podcasts in America today. He's my co-host. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Jennifer is with us in San Antonio, Texas. Hi, Jennifer. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi. Thanks for speaking with me today.
Sure.
I really appreciate it. As I love you, Dave, but I think my question's probably a little more for John, so not to hurt your ego or anything, but
hey, he's got two PhDs. I just have one, and mine is in...
And his ego, trust me, it's doing just fine.
Okay, sorry, my bad. I was like, I never thought I'd call Dave Ramsey Show and then not want to totally focus on Dave Ramsey and Papa Dave.
You're so sweet.
Oh, you're awesome.
Personally,
you're sweet. How can we help?
Papa Dave.
I'll be okay.
Anyway,
how can John help?
What's up?
I'm calling because so I had a bankruptcy in 2021, and I'm debt free, and I'm debt free after paying the KGB, IRS, and then I was one of the very few that had their public service. I worked for the federal government, and I was one of the very few that had their loans forgiven. I worked for the federal government for 13 years, and I feel a lot of shame. I feel shame about the bankruptcy, but then I also feel a lot of shame about the public service forgiveness in a way, because I took advantage of the program that was available to me, and I'm proud of serving the government so long, but I guess I feel a little, I don't know. I tell people not to count on it all the time, and that there's, all the data shows that very few people are ever going to have it happen to them, and don't want them to count on it. I just happen to be in that window where it worked for me, and so it's like I won the lottery, but I'm like ashamed that I won it a little bit. And
yeah, so Jennifer,
I just feel a lot of shame.
Jennifer, I'm actually going to change direction a little bit. Is that okay?
Okay, yeah.
When it comes to shame, I can talk about it all day long.
Mm-hmm.
But lucky for you, you called a number where there's more than just academic answers.
Okay.
I actually think the person you want to talk to is Dave. He's been there.
Okay, well, see, I have what do I know? The guy with the PhD doesn't know.
I can talk about it, but Dave can talk from a lived experience, which is much more valuable.
So, what caused your bankruptcy?
Okay. I made good money, but I have a disability, and I was only going to work like 2 weeks a month. After my brother died, the disability became so extreme, all these medical issues that had come up. So even though I was following the Dave Ramsey plan, like
wait a minute, stop. What's the nature of your disability, honey?
I have major depressive disorder, and after my brother died, I became like suicidal, and it was real extreme.
Okay.
And so,
and you had debts that you couldn't pay because of that.
Yes, I was making bare minimum payments, and then I went to the bishop to even get help. So for a year, about 18 months, the bishop and I literally sat down at my church like every month, like, how can we dig you out of this hole? But the medical bills were still so high that I still couldn't, even though I had this big shovel, the medical bills just kept coming, and then I was really struggling to work over and over.
Hey, do me a favor, Jennifer. Will you take a real deep breath? As deep as you can.
Sorry.
Take it super deep, and I want you to hold it for 3, 2, exhale. There's a lot of people in the world that are giving you a lot of advice and running their mouth and telling you should be doing this, and Dave and I are not going to do that. We're sitting here with you, okay?
Okay.
You don't have to. I can hear you trying to outrun the shame in a circle right on the phone with us. You don't have to do that.
Okay.
Okay?
All right. Here's the thing.
We're with you.
When I filed bankruptcy at 28 years old, the reason for my bankruptcy was I had borrowed too much money. Yeah. I had borrowed it in such a way that it allowed the banks to come and take my freaking head off.
Yes.
It was my fault. I don't think a person who has issues with depression becoming depressed after the loss of their brother is something you did wrong. So my actions were shameful. You know? Your actions were not shameful.
Well, I feel like the debt actions were shameful, that I put myself in such a bad position.
You were vulnerable because of that, but you probably would have made it without bankruptcy if you hadn't been unable to work for a period of time.
Yeah, the bishop said that actually when we sat down. I mean, every month he's like, if you weren't so sick now, I think we could help you. Like he was helping me even with rent, you know, but at one point he said, you know, tithing and because we're stewards of the Lord's money, you know, he's like, this is a hand up, not a hammock. He's all, but every month I see that you're putting everything you can into paying. He's all, but this, I think this might be our only way out.
So let me ask you this. It's obviously the loss of your brother, that tragedy is in the rearview mirror. Are you doing things to deal with the depression issues?
Yes, I see.
So what I did in my case was I did some things to deal with my stupidity, and so I'm not going to make the same mistakes again, and therefore I don't have to sit and be wringing my hands about the shame of the bankruptcy. The bankruptcy in my case was caused by me, so there was shame. It was shame-inducing for sure. Okay. But the way I dealt with it, to answer your question, was I said, okay, what steps do I have to take to be a different person that causes this to never happen again? If I take those steps, then the thing's in my rearview mirror. It's just one of the many stupid things I've done in my life that I don't have to do again.
Yeah.
And Jennifer, can we agree that sometimes you feel things and those feelings aren't true?
Yes,
Okay.
that is true.
I know that to
My
be.
therapist tells me that all the time.
I know, but listen.
Well, not all the time, but it does come up.
Here's what you're going to do. I want you to keep a journal with you of the things you feel. When you feel like you're taking advantage of folks and you feel like you should have, I want you to write that down, and I want you to hold it at arm's length and ask yourself, is this true?
Okay.
And I want you to be objective about it, because if you can't be objective, take it to your counselor and say, is this true? Because the answer is going to be no. But when you have a feeling and you begin to believe that feeling, then your body's off to the races.
Yeah. Zero shame. For the student loan forgiveness.
No.
And the shame on any part you had with irresponsibility. You say, I'm not doing that anymore. Any part you had with taking on too much debt, I'm not doing that anymore. But the depression taking you away from work, I'm not blaming you for that one, kiddo. That one's in your rearview mirror too, though. The beautiful thing about life is the rearview mirror is smaller than the windshield. That's called grace. Walk in that, kiddo. This is The Ramsey Show. Hey guys, you know this, but I'll say it anyway. College is freaking expensive, and student loans are out of control. The average private student loan debt in 2023 was $55,000. So if you're in over your head with private student loan debt, don't beat yourself up. Look, we've all made mistakes with money in the past. What matters is doing something about it now. So if you're in distress with private student loans, that's private, not federal student loans, call Y-Refi. Y-Refi refinances defaulted private student loans that other places won't touch and gives you a custom loan built for you based on your ability to pay. To learn more about this custom refinancing option, call 844-2-RAMSEY or go to yrefi.com/Ramsey. Dr. John Delony, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Ryan is in Chicago. Hey, Ryan, how are you?
Doing good. How about yourself?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
So I was just calling because I've recently gotten some good news. I'm having a baby on the way. Very, very excited for it. But I just moved back up north. I was living in Louisiana for a while, and I just got a job up here. I just do sales, and she is talking about moving to Louisiana because that's where her family lives. And obviously, I'm not gonna.
This is weird.
Are y'all not together?
What do you mean? She's moving to Louisiana and you're in Chicago?
Or not to Louisiana, to Tennessee. I apologize.
Why is she moving and you're not? I don't understand. What's going on?
So we're no longer together. And yeah. So
lead with that next time, dude. That's a big part of the story.
For a minute, I thought we were a happy little family with a picket fence. Okay.
No, not quite yet.
Not even even close.
So you hooked up with your ex. She's pregnant.
So your ex-wife or girlfriend?
Girlfriend.
Okay. How long ago did you break up, in quotes?
About a month ago, almost 3 weeks to a month. We still talk every day. We're on good terms and all that sort of good stuff, which is what I want. If we are going to be separated, I'd still want to, be
So what's your question?
And all that good jazz. So I just had a lot of questions as far as moving down to Tennessee, because she did ask me, or she was interested in me doing that so I could be closer to them. And I just had a lot of questions about, budgeting with the baby and doing just like, trying to find a house down there. And how would you go through that? I don't have very much debt. I have like $500 on my credit card, and that's pretty much it. And that's getting paid off. So luckily, I'm about to be out of debt, which is a very good feeling. But
how long have you known about this?
What was that?
How long have you known about this?
We found out.
No, I don't know. We didn't. She did. And then when did she tell you? You're not together.
December. Yeah, December, when we were living in Louisiana, and then we moved back up. We were together still, and then we just recently separated. So
you're confusing me, because I think you're so jumbled up. So are you telling me you knew she was pregnant before you broke up?
Yes, yeah. It's been a mutual breakup, so it's not been like any sort of.
So you didn't recently find out you were pregnant and get this good news. That's what you led with. That wasn't the truth. You knew she was pregnant, and you broke up with her.
That way.
Why'd you break up with her?
We just argued a lot. It was a lot of just back and forth, and
so here's the deal. This woman is going to be in your life for the rest of your life.
Yes.
And so whether you get back with her or not, it sounds like there's a lot of YOLO and, well, we just argue. Dude, you got to be past that now. You're bringing a human into the world.
Yeah.
I would get with a relationship counselor ASAP, because y'all are going to have to learn to talk, to communicate, you think being together and raising this kid's hard. You're going to try to do it in separate houses. It's going to be chaos. It's hard. And the fact that you haven't already moved, I don't even know what we're talking about here. My daughter has been gone for 4 days, 5 days, and I'm having trouble breathing. I can't wrap my head around your thought process.
No, so that's where I was. So I am gonna move down there with them. They're gonna be doing that.
No, not with them. Y'all broke up. You made a big boy decision. You broke up. You're gonna move your butt down here by this child, and then you're gonna work to learn how to communicate with her.
Them. There's not a with.
Yeah, I'm gonna live near them. Okay. That way we can raise the baby together.
Actually, it's not even near them. It's near the baby.
Near the baby. You broke up.
Yeah.
And y'all are playing dating still on the phone. That's why I don't think y'all are done. I think y'all acted immaturely and things got stressful and you just split up.
Yeah, pretty much everything you've done has been an impulse decision. All of these decisions have been impulse. The moves, the pregnancies, the shacking up, the breaking up, the moving to Nashville or Tennessee. You guys make decisions about every 30 seconds. And
that's not good for your finances, but it's fine until you decide to bring a human into the world.
It's not good, period. You never make good decisions this way. Y'all need to slow it down. Slow your roll. Slow down. These are big boy, big girl deals. You can't, breaking up with someone that you have a baby with is a big deal. Well, we're arguing. Oh, well, give me a break. I've been married 43 years. We're arguing is an ongoing.
I was going to say, I wasn't going to say it, but I've been in the room with several of those. Yeah.
We're arguing means she told me what to do and I didn't do it. Wait a minute, that was today.
But this idea that we're just going to break up because we're arguing, you're going to argue the rest of your life because y'all are raising a human together. And so figuring out how we're going to communicate, even if y'all go in the room and say, hey, we're done romantically, but we're going to figure out how to do this, at least give it a shot. For the sake of this kid. All the data suggests y'all have to be working together for this kid to have a shot.
Yeah. So yes, we're with you to move into Tennessee, but I want you guys, both of you, to make slower, huge decisions. The good decision-making paradigm is this: the more important the decision, the more information you need about the decision, and the longer time you should take making the decision. You've done that the opposite on all of these fronts. That's what's killing me here. So you can impulse a pack of gum. If you're going to buy a car, you need to slow down and take your time. It's a lot of money. Okay?
If you're going to choose
you can impulse walking across the room and talking to a girl. You don't impulse breaking up with a girl who's got your child inside of her.
Or think it this way. Because of some arguments, you have decided, I want my child to have a single mom. I'm going to be very careful about that decision.
Ooh.
Very careful.
Yeah. So picking on you, but dude, we love you and we want you to win, and we're observing the patterns there.
And I want your baby
and
to
if
win.
you don't break those patterns, you're going to replicate them. And that's what I want for you. And I want that for your baby as well.
Yeah.
The most positive thing you said in the entire conversation is how excited you are about the baby.
As you should be.
And that's wonderful. That's good news for the baby and good news for you. It means you're a good man. So work through these slowing down on big decisions. And so, before you decide to move to Tennessee and chase her, you probably ought to go meet with her and a good relationship counselor. Talk about what it looks like if you made the move.
Here's the deal. I'm going to give you all 3 months of free BetterHelp with a licensed marriage therapist, licensed relationship therapist that'll talk to you guys. So hang on the line here. We'll get you hooked up with that.
There we go.
And then y'all can talk from different states even if you need to, but y'all can begin.
But I think you probably do need to go to Tennessee, but I think you should do it in a different context. Right. In the sense of you ought to have made the decision, I've got a good job, move when I make the move. I'm not just going to go down there and hope it works out.
I got a place already.
I got a place figured out. I've got a set of relational boundaries and rules involved with this ex-girlfriend, and how we're going to work on the child. What are the financial implications? How much are you going to child support? What are those kinds of things? All of this you ought to have all that figured out before you move. Yeah. And it might take you a month to figure that out. And you got a month. So slow down on big decisions. Get more information and more information and more information. When you've got all your information stacked up and you go slowly, we call that wisdom. It's the opposite of impulsing. This is The Ramsey Show. If you're like most people, your home is your most valuable asset. And when you want to make improvements, it can feel like everything costs too much or takes too long. But something as simple as custom window coverings from Blinds.com can completely change your space and add value to your home. We've recommended Blinds.com for over a decade, so you know you can trust them. From blinds, drapes, and shutters to motorized shades, they make it easy and affordable to upgrade your entire home, and their team is ready to help with everything from design consultation to measuring and installation. Plus, there are never any misleading quotes or hidden fees. Everything's backed by their 100% satisfaction guarantee, and shipping is always free. See why Blinds.com is the #1 online retailer of custom window coverings. Visit Blinds.com to save up to 40% off everything site-wide. Go to Blinds.com for more information. Dr. John Delony, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Open phones in the lobby of Ramsey Solutions on the debt-free stage. Nathan and Danielle are with us. Hey, guys, how are you?
We're great, Dave. Good to be with you guys.
You too. So where do you live?
Arlington Heights, Illinois.
Ah, Chicagoland. Mm-hmm. All right, welcome to Nashville. And how much debt have you paid off?
We've paid off about $130,000 in debt.
Very good. And how long did that take?
6 years.
6 years. And your range of income during that time?
We started at about $40,000. Mm-hmm. We were bumped up to, what was it, $132,000
132.
132. And then actually in about a week and a half, that's going to jump to about 160.
Okay, that's pretty impressive, you guys. I mean, 40 to 60 is pretty cool. 40 to 160. So what happened to your careers? What do y'all do for a living?
It's a lot of extra Uber, man.
Yeah.
No, they bought Uber. I mean, my
God. Uber at Lyft was part of that for about 6 months, but it started out, I graduated from grad school. We'd gotten married 6 months prior to that.
What's your degree?
Originally, I had a degree in athletic training, which similar to physical therapy for people that don't know, but more in a college setting, high school setting, things like that. At some point, a couple of years into that, I was thinking about the career, thinking about, we're going to have kids one day, and I was doing a lot of traveling on weekends with like football teams and things like that, and wanted to, I was thinking about the time we'll potentially lose with kids when we had them, and so I started looking into a career change. Fast forward, we cash flowed I got my MBA online, graduated in the end of 2020, and then maybe 9 months later or so, made a career change into third-party risk. I was working in, which is what I do now. So.
Okay, cool. And what do you do, Danielle?
I am a paralegal in a class action law firm.
Wow, good for y'all. Okay, great careers. Quite a trek. How long you been married?
7 years.
7 years. So 1 year into the marriage, you start this process and you go on this journey on his career track, which leads you into much, much higher incomes over time. What kind of debt was the 130?
Guilty as charged on that one. That would be all my student loans and a little bit of medical debt.
I hadn't charged you. The paralegal, huh?
Yep. Yeah.
Okay, all right. I'll go with that. Cool. So what happened after a year of marriage that you said, we're going to get out and we're going to do this Ramsey stuff? How'd you meet us?
So about 5 to 6 months into our marriage, my grandma ended up passing away, and she left me amount of money that was equivalent to pay off my first 2 federal student loans. And we had read the Total Money Makeover, and we're like, we can do this. Let's go. Let's get Gazelle Intense and let's pay this off. And we did.
Yeah, and we had read the book, my spring break of my last year of grad school. It was a wedding gift, actually, and we just kind of set it on the shelf. It's like, we're a bunch of poor college students. Like, well, living on, I don't know, it was maybe less than $1,500 a month, if that, maybe $1,200. So, then read it over spring break and was, thinking towards, we'll finally get, real jobs, real income. And I was like, hey, like this seems like something that's pretty feasible, Yeah, that was kind of.
Okay. Got after it then. Knocked it out. And here we are 6 years later, making serious bank and no payments in the world.
When did y'all start dressing exactly alike in public?
So, this started early on in marriage, John. So I've been forcing him to dress similar to me ever since.
You're a good husband, man.
Well, no, here's a picture over here. They're doing it too.
No, I thought like you're a good husband, man. Well done.
Yeah, that was Christmas photos there. This past Christmas time. So.
What was the biggest challenge y'all faced internally, like the one behind closed doors that you don't talk about?
Right, yeah. No, we'll tell everybody on the radio. Probably, I don't know if there was one specific one, but just, we, like I'm sure so many other people, it felt like after about 2 years into it, it's like, we're trying to grind through this and we'd start getting that, it was like almost fatigue from it. And sometimes she would feel that way. Sometimes I'd feel that way. And it's like, so we're trying to kind of pull and push each other along and say, no, like we got to stick with the plan. It's going to be okay, and, fortunately we, sometimes kicking and screaming, sometimes less so, but, fortunately we were able to stick to the plan.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the other thing too is about 4 years into our marriage, we tried starting a family, and unfortunately we went through the wilderness of infertility, and infertility is not I wouldn't wish it on anybody. So
amen.
Having to struggle with that, cash flowed those treatments, and then going through 3 rounds of unsuccessful fertility treatments that really tried and tested us, but we remained faithful. We said, God, you've got this, you've got us, we're going to keep trusting you, and we just kept pushing forward.
And I hear that little screaming in the background.
Yeah,
that was
so it worked.
No, actually it didn't.
All right, tell us about that story.
So it was our 3rd round of IUI had failed. It was the Friday after we had that news. I was sitting on my kitchen floor sobbing, asking God why, and then I told him, you know what, Lord, I'm done. I'm going to be done. I'm giving this to you. Let's focus on other things. Let's keep paying off the debt. 2.5 months later, find out we're pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
Of course.
Yep.
Wow. Of course. I love it. Wow, that's so cool. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Proud for y'all. What a wonderful 5 years.
Yeah.
And what a very hard 5 years.
Yes.
Yeah. Wow. Very cool. Congratulations. All right. What advice do you have to somebody who's facing what you all were facing?
Don't you ever give up. Don't ever give up. Keep pushing forward. Seek counsel when you need it. Seek help from your church leaders when you need it. Don't be afraid to reach out for help.
I think about too that we certainly weren't perfect at it. We had a month here or there periodically where it's like maybe the budget got blown up by something or maybe we just had a lapse in judgment, maybe spent $100 here or something like that, and it's like looking back on it, that was a mistake, and but don't let those things get you down. Don't let them take you out of it. So just get back on track and keep pushing.
Back on the wagon. Back on the wagon.
Absolutely.
I like it. Well, congratulations, you two.
Thank you.
And the little one's name is what?
Eliana.
Eliana. So is Eliana going to be in the debt-free Scream?
She is.
All right. Well, we've got the every dollar subscription for you guys.
Thank you.
For a 1 year. We've got 2 of them, actually. 2 1-year subscriptions, one for you and one for you to give away. So we'll get that to you. Oh, she's precious.
Oh, thank you.
Gracious.
She is so cute.
Thank you.
That's fun. I hope y'all
And for
don't...
the listener, she's wearing the same color shirt Mom and Dad.
There you go. Just to be sure we noticed that. I love it. Way to go, you guys. So proud of you.
Thank
You're
you.
heroes.
Thanks.
You took control, and that little baby's got a whole different life because of you two. Well done. Very well done. All right, it's Nathan and Danielle and Eliana from the Chicagoland area. $130,000 in student loans paid off in 6 years, making $40 to $160.
Nice.
Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
Right.
3, 2, 1.
We're debt free.
Yeah! That's how it's done. Well, she wasn't even scared.
No, I think she's heard Mama do that several times.
Been practicing.
In the practice room, that's right.
Been practicing. I like it. Good stuff. Very cool. Very cool. One of the things that we see, I mean, if you get out of debt in 6 months, you don't have this, but if you get out of debt and it takes you 3 years or 4 years or 5 years, or in this case, 6 years, you can almost be guaranteed that during your debt-free journey, you're also going to have a life event or 6. There's always going to be something, In their case, they were dealing with infertility and having a baby. We had a debt-free screamer on yesterday, had 2 children during the time they were getting out of debt. That's big life events. It's not like this stuff happens in a vacuum. Because if you could just sit and do nothing but this in a monastery, there was no.
You get it done. Life doesn't stop.
There's all this other stuff coming at you too, which does require you to have that tenacity, that perseverance. It's wonderful that you can walk through all of that at the same time. That's the proof text. That's when you know you got it. This is the Ramsey Show. Well, let's face it, taxes are confusing and they piss me off. I don't like paying them. I don't want to do it. I don't like this time of year. And then you get all these people in the tax business around you you guys are not around me, but I got rid of them a long time ago. But they're trying to sell you, if you'll use our software, we could sell you 14 credit cards and a cash advance on your refund. Oh my God, they're just debt sellers. They're credit card people that got a little tax thing waving it in front of you like you're a bass and you bite on everything that's shiny. So don't do that. Go to RamseySolutions.com/tax. Use Ramsey Smart Tax if you've got a simple return. If you've got a complicated return, hit the tax ELPs and they'll help you with it. Dave's tax tip of the day: a tax refund is not a bonus. A bonus is a fund. This is a refund. A refund means it's already happened once, and we're refunding it. Means you already had the money once, and you gave it to the IRS. You gave them too much, more than you needed to give them in order to cover your taxes, and then they send it back to you. So in essence, you have given them too much money and they send it back to you. So you have a savings account with the federal government that pays 0 interest, and they send it back to you, and you feel, oh, well, it makes me, at least I know I don't owe $3,000. You're giving them $250 a month too much, and it makes you feel good? It doesn't make me feel good. It makes me feel stupid when I do stuff like that. So how do you fix this? You go into your W-2 and you change and get the right amount taken out. Go into payroll and have them take the right amount out. Now, what's the right amount? Well, if nothing's changed in your taxes and you've gotten the same refund for the past 4 years, just take that refund amount and take that the correct amount out of your check. $3,000 a year is $250 a month. Simple. $6,000 a year is $500 a month. $4,800 is $400 a month. Whatever it is, have that right amount. If something has changed, you may want to have one of the tax ELPs run your taxes. Or get the Ramsey Smart Tax software, run your taxes. Figure out what your actual tax bill is and divide that into your paychecks and tell them to take that much out. Then you will be having the proper amount taken out. You will not owe more than you have paid in, but you will not have paid in too much. The numbers, it's like 70-something% of Americans get a refund.
I like to think of it this way. You think the government's doing such a bang-up job with spending that you decided, you know what, I'm going to loan y'all some money for the year. Interest-free, just on me. That walked me into Debbie's office and said, I can't do it anymore.
No, the DMV is so efficient. Oh, God.
So proud of the work you do. I'm just going to loan y'all money.
Scary. All right, our question of the day comes from Max in Oregon. I have a portfolio of properties that's worth about $3 million. My partner and I recently had a child, so we'd like to buy a house. I sold one of my properties for the down payment, and my partner chipped in $5,000, which wiped out her savings. She keeps asking me to sell the rest of my investments so we won't have a mortgage. I have a feeling she wants this so she doesn't need to go to work. I feel stuck and resentful because of the inequality of our financial contributions. Well,
so this is a relationship that's not going to work, Dave.
So, Max, it starts with when you have a partner instead of a wife.
Right.
That's where it started.
Are we dating? Are we married? I don't even know.
I don't even know what's going on
Doesn't
here.
say.
I can't tell. I can't tell if you're married and you think it's chic to say partner.
Or
hey,
I can't
partner.
Or if this is a business.
You're killing me.
It's a business.
It sounds like, because you use the word partner, that you think this is a business.
Right.
That's the way this verbiage sounds, doesn't it? And so, and that, if you were in partnership with, a business partnership, and it was unequal, well, each of the parties in the partnership would have things that they were supposed to bring to the partnership. Are both of you going to bring what you're supposed to bring to the partnership? Then if somebody's not doing that, then a business partnership, you would have this exact kind of discussion about that.
But before you go to a business partnership, hopefully you've discussed what each of you are going to bring to the table and what your goals for the partnership
what the expectations are.
Y'all haven't done that here.
Yeah, you haven't hit that. You haven't even gone that far with this, but my point is how sickening this sounds because it sounds like a business transaction.
Instead of, like, me and my wife had a child.
And she wants me to pay off our house that we live in and raise our child. And I've got a big old pile of money, and I'm really loving my money more than I love my wife and my child.
And she chipped in $5,000 and wiped out her savings.
Ooh, wow.
She keeps asking me.
Lucky for her.
She doesn't want to
married
go
Max
to work.
the millionaire.
Bro.
Dude, there's just...
I was going to say you need to check yourself, but you've already wrecked yourself, brother. You got a mess. Got a mess, man.
Yeah, we just wore you out, son. Sorry about that, but...
I'm not. You know what? I can't stand this attitude because it is a attitude of I am superior to you because I have some properties.
Yeah.
And you married a woman. Y'all created a human
We
together.
don't know if we're married.
Well,
we might
whatever.
be partners.
Y'all have a
partner?
child together, and suddenly... Well, you got...
Yippee-yi-ki-yay. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, this gives me the GAS, Dave. Max, you'll need to go see a counselor ASAP.
Yeah. So
get this
let
lined
me tell
out.
you, if I could be your best friend for a second, your old Uncle Ugly Dave, and put my arm around you, I would say, love this child and this woman so well that you marry this woman if you're not, and that you make those two your everything, and you do anything for your everything.
Above your homes and your
you
net
do
worth.
Anything for your everything.
There you go.
And that means you pay off your stinking house and you make a home and you pay cash for it and you create an environment where those two can both prosper because you love them more than you love life itself, certainly more than your tiny little portfolio of $3 million. This will cause you, my son, to be 80 years old and have no regrets. Worshipping at the altar of a $3 million real estate portfolio, meanwhile making your own wife or should-be wife and child second fiddle to your stuff will not lead you to long-term happiness.
Period.
Easy.
Period.
So that's what we're seeing, and that's what we were dancing around and being sarcastic, and we know that all the crap this poor lady is feeling. But, dude, you really are being a complete butt because you are completely worshiping the wrong things here. You're completely putting the wrong things in the wrong order. And when a lady has your child, married or not, and you are so superior with your $3 million that you look down your nose and she paid off her $5,000, I'm like, dude, it's just nasty.
Yeah.
It's nasty. So... sorry you wrote in. Oh, my gosh. But, hey.
Dude,
the truth is the secret to happiness is long-term, high-quality relationships. It's not stuff. Hello.
Period. Man, I just find myself overly empathetic sometimes. Y'all give me a hard time off air, but I'm just overly... This is one of the few ones that gets me fired up. When somebody looks and it's just...
Well, the problem is the downstream on it. The problem is you and I know the data of where this kid ends up.
That's right.
If Max's brain isn't reaching...
That baby will be born, and really quickly that nervous system will know, Daddy's rental properties are more important than me.
Yep.
And that's a recipe for chaos, man.
Yeah, this is how you end up... and I don't know how little Johnny ended up being a bank robber. I do. This is The Ramsey Show. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's The Ramsey Show, where we help people
build wealth, do work that they love, and create actual amazing relationships. I'm Dave Ramsey, your host. Dr. John Delony, host of the Dr. John Delony Show, #1 best-selling author, and Ramsey Personality is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. That's 888-825-5225. Matt is with us in Minneapolis. Hi, Matt. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hey, Dave and John. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure. What's up?
I have my wife and I have been debt-free, 100% house and everything for 5 years. We are baby step millionaires and are currently in the process of going to build a new home.
Good for you.
Our existing home, our oldest son is interested in buying. It's worth about $365,000. He can only afford about $250,000. So I'm wondering your opinion if, writing up a contract and covering all the D's, as you say, like in a partnership, percentage of ownership. It comes out he owns 65%. We would retain about 35% ownership. Is that a bad idea?
How old is your oldest son?
24, married, and 2 grandkids.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But we do have 2 other children.
Mm-hmm.
The middle child has already bought he bought a house.
So what is your total? What is your total net worth, Matt?
1.28. Okay. Actually, I was going to try to call yesterday.
Oh, congratulations! How old are you?
Numbers in front
How old are you?
I am 47.
Okay. All right. And what do you make a year?
The last couple of years have been incredible. I'm an over-the-road truck driver, completely my own carrier.
Mm-hmm.
And with COVID and the supply chain, I've done $200,000 to $300,000 on my own the last couple of years. But
how is your health? How is your health?
Good.
Okay. All right.
Not perfect, but
so if you let's pretend you had 1.2 and let's pretend it made 10%. Every 7 years it would double. Okay. And so it'll be 2.4 when you're 54. When you're 61, it's 4.8. When you're 68, it's 10 million. Okay. So if you make it to 70 years old and this money continues to grow, and some of it's in real estate and personal homes and those kinds of things, but it grows in value, right? And if you continue to invest and if you continue to add to it on top of that, it's even more. But you should have $5 to $10 million at your death. That's a reason. That's why I was asking you all those questions. All right. So what I would do here, if you're going to do this, I would never do a partnership, ever. Okay. Because you and your son will be just fine, but this puts a different pressure on your daughter-in-law that's not fair to her.
Yep.
You've interfered in their marriage. You didn't mean to because you're sweet and you love your grandbabies, but you would. Don't do that. What I would do instead is if you want to sell him the house for $250 and it's worth $350, he just got $100,000 less at your death.
Okay, so put that in the will.
That he gets $100,000 less at your death.
Okay.
Now he owns this house. He has no strings attached. He could sell it. He can paint it purple. He can go on vacation. It's none of your freaking business. He owns the house. Okay. And all you advanced him was $100,000 of his future inheritance.
Yeah, because that was kind of what we'd already thought is maybe in 5-10 years they could refinance and buy the rest.
Nope.
Otherwise,
nope. I don't need this monkey on his back. He's 24 with 2 kids.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
Or the other thing is, we could just say out loud that Papa Dave over here understands that Papa Matt has grandkids disease, because when you love your grandbabies, you start doing stupid butt stuff for their parents if you're not careful.
Yeah.
And you might have grandkids' disease. Because it's okay if a 24-year-old can't do a $350,000 house. It's perfectly okay in society.
Yeah.
So no is a possible answer. But if you want to do it, that's the way to do it.
And I would even say a third option is give them the grandkid discount. And just to say, I'm going to eat $100,000 in equity of quote unquote what it's worth.
You got to pass that on to the other two siblings somehow.
Yeah.
That's what I was.
Yeah, that's my reason for.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do like the idea of writing it in the will, and we already have a trust.
Yep.
So that
and
can
unless you're sick, you're probably going to have several $1 million, and it's not going to be that big a deal for $100,000 of it to be out of his.
Can you sell this house though and not have any strings attached? If he wants to plow up the front yard and put corn in it because he watched a YouTube video, are you fine with that?
Yes.
No, there was a.
I don't like that.
That was a stretched yes.
You need to be able to come home and realize he ripped all the carpet up, took all
Let's
the
pretend he went and bought a house on his own that had nothing to do with you. You can leave your hands off of that, can't you?
Yep.
Then you got to leave your hands off this one.
Okay.
And if you can't do it, don't do it. It's a stupid bud house. Don't let this mess up Grandpa land.
Yeah, it's not worth your son or your grandkids.
Well, yeah, that's the emotional. We've been there 21 years. He grew up there.
Well, how's the sisters going to feel?
House for raising kids.
How's the sisters going to feel?
Well, I said the middle child's already bought a house. The youngest.
That wasn't what I asked.
But
I didn't ask if they were homeless. I asked how they were going to feel.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Probably would be some jealousy there.
Yeah, I probably want to talk about it. Make sure everybody's okay with it. This is what we're thinking about doing, sisters. You guys cool with that? That's why we do it at Ramsey's, because we do all kinds of wacky stuff around the Ramsey's. But we always just say, hey, this is what we're thinking about doing. How's everybody feel about that? And sometimes you just put the awkward crap in the middle of the table. It diffuses it.
I don't know of a situation. I'm becoming more and more dogmatic about this, Dave. I don't know of a situation where not just putting it on the table isn't the best way to do it.
It's the only way.
Yeah.
It's the only way.
Unless somebody on the other end is bent on hurting you or they don't have the capacity to hear what you're saying, you got to put it on the table.
Yeah, well, even then, I gave him a shot.
That's right.
And then I could just put up a boundary on the other stuff.
There you go.
Yeah, I gave you a shot at understanding.
But if you know, we lived there 21 years, all our memories are there. I have that wallpaper there on purpose. I put that sink in there, and that's my sink. Then
not anymore.
Don't do it.
Not anymore. Yeah, you don't own it anymore. You can't control freak this.
Yeah.
And it'd even be worse if you were partners. Probably better if you just don't do the deal at all. But if you do it, I gave you the mechanical way to pull it off, and you got to keep your emotional hands off of it, and the sisters got to be okay. This is the Ramsey Show. Dr. John Delony, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Matt wanting to sell the house at a discount to his 24-year-old son who can't afford a $350,000 house but can afford a $250,000 house made me think it's a good idea to update what's going on in the real estate world. The interest rates started going up and the market started slowing down dramatically about 15 or 18 months ago. And we did a live stream where I very emphatically said the real estate market is not going to crash. Values are not going to tank. And here's how I know that. And I went through several data points on the air, and we had several 100,000 of you watch that live stream, and we covered some of that on the air here to let you know that the real estate market values were not going to tank because a whole bunch of people were really upset that interest rates had gone up. They felt that the system had cheated them and they were not going to be able to buy a home. They were frozen out of the home market, and they would sit on the sidelines and wait on the real estate market to crash and go down in value. And I explained to you why it was not going to go down in value, and it was a very simple proposition, except I went into great detail. I'm not going to do right now. But basically it works like this. When there is a shortage of an item, it's called a supply-demand curve in economics. If you had a decent economics class in the 7th grade, you learned this, okay? The supply-demand curve works like this. When there is an oversupply of an item versus the demand, more if you got a glut in the market, if you can get them anywhere easily, there's not a shortage, prices go down. When there's a shortage of an item or a service in the market, a scarcity, prices versus demand, prices go up. That's basic economics, okay? So items that are scarce go up more often than not. Items that are easily available, readily available, widely available, there's too many of them produced, go down in value. Does that make sense? Everybody kind of knows that. That's kind of common sense if you think about it. So here's the deal. There is less inventory of homes for sale versus the number of buyers today than there has been in 25 years. There's a shortage of housing versus the demand. Zero chance prices are going to go down on houses during that time. I said that 18 months ago. Told everybody that. Dave, that video is not going to age well. After the crash, you're going to have to come back and tell people you were wrong. Well, instead, I'm here going, nah. I freaking know what I'm talking about. Okay, there's a difference, all right? I know a little about that stuff. I've got a degree in real estate. I've been buying real estate since before any of you were born. So, hardly any of you. So spring is upon us. It's predicted to be another busy time for real estate. This is some stuff we just picked up out of the press. Average interest rates for 15-year fixed-rate mortgages are at 6.16% right now, down from 7 and some change just a few weeks ago. So interest rates are trending down. Total housing inventory at the end of January was up 2%. And up 3% from a year ago. Unsold inventory still sits at a 3-month supply. And there is a tremendous number of new listings coming. So we're starting to see some supply come back into the market. That's what we're seeing. But we're also seeing buyers come back into the market that were sidelined, waiting on interest rates to go down or waiting on the crash.
And for people who don't believe that, I bid on a house a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, and I got outbid by 4 different buyers.
There's a lot of multiple contracts are coming back. That's what the National Association of Realtors is reporting this. Okay? Low inventory has driven the median home price up to an all-time high. Prices went up. They didn't crash. You were wrong. They went up to an all-time high of $379,000. That's the median home price in America. In February, homes went from being listed to going under contract in 17 days, and they were at 27 days. So they're selling faster. The market is heating back up. And the slight move in interest rate down, the grass getting green in some of the markets, we're seeing the real estate market heat back up. We're seeing multiple offers in big markets like Nashville again. And let me tell you, I got my real estate license in 1978. The number of years during that, between 1978 and now, that you put a home on the market and you got multiple offers, it's been a very rare time. But prior to 2020, we were seeing some of it. And then, of course, after Fauci's pandemic, we saw people go crazy. And they came out of their homes. They were quarantined and came out looking for new houses like a Baptist looking for a casserole. They were everywhere, man. They were running around like crazy and drove prices ridiculously up in 20 and out of control. I mean, like 89 offers on a weekend, that kind of stuff. All right, that y'all remember that. That was just that's just like two and a half years ago. Okay, and then it chilled. It just stopped. And the market has it's continued to move, but it's very slow. The volume has been very slow, but still demand has exceeded supply, and we've seen prices go up. And now that the market's heating back up a little bit, now we've yet again got even more demand than supply, and we're seeing multiple offers again. So if you are thinking about selling a house, this is an excellent time to sell a house.
As a guy who's trying to buy one, please sell your house.
If you're thinking about buying a house today, you're out of debt, you have your down payment, you're ready to go, and the only thing you're waiting on is the real estate prices to come down or the interest rates to come down, don't wait. Go buy a house right now if you're ready, because the prices aren't going to come down, and if the interest rates come down, you can just refinance. So you marry the house, you date the rate. That's how that works. The rate is temporary. The house is dead. So here's the thing. Median house price, all-time high in history right now. Interesting. And you thought 2020 was crazy. And you thought 2021 was crazy. All right, I'm telling you, I'm not predicting it to go nuts again, but the idea that some of you are still sitting around waiting on this market to correct is hilariously stupid. You're that wrong. And Dave, it's not going to age well. Hey, I've aged pretty well in general. There's a couple things I've missed it on, but I pretty much call it on a lot of these things. I told you Bitcoin was a scam. I told you from the start, even when all of you people that joined Bitcoin, like some people joined Mary Kay, y'all were driving me nuts, yelling and screaming at me like I'd insulted your Jesus or something. It's crazy. And it was a dadgum scam, and we knew it was a scam from the start. We knew it was a horrible idea, and yet you walked around acting like you're sophisticated, and Dave Ramsey just doesn't understand. Let me tell you guys, this is what's happening with real estate. I promise you, you can look up this particular YouTube 5 years from now, and you're going to go, yeah, that old fart was right again. That's what you're going to do. It's exactly what you're going to do. So prices are going to go up. Rates are going to go up and down, up and down, up and down. They always have, and they always will. The only rate that you cannot adjust is mine. My interest rate on my mortgage is 0 because I don't have a mortgage. That's the only one you can control. So get the house paid off. Go to RamseySolutions.com. Get you a Ramsey trusted agent to buy a house or to sell a house right now. And quit believing all this fear-mongering bullcrap that's out there. Listen, the market is slow, but demand still exceeds supply, and it has still driven us to an all-time high median price on house. Those are facts. That's called data. If you don't agree with that, you're what's known as wrong. Seriously. So if you're going to buy a house or sell a house, best time's right now. I told you the same thing 18 months ago, and I was right then, too. This is The Ramsey Show. Thanks for joining us, America. Dr. Sean Delony, Ramsey personality and real estate mogul, is my co-host today.
I'm not a lot of things, Dave, but I'm not that. I'm a bumbling idiot.
You are number 4th in line among 4 people bidding on a house.
In supposedly the falling, crashing,
dying economy,
real estate market ever.
Yeah. I don't know, John. You're a failure, I'm thinking. I could be wrong.
I'm fairly certain you're on the right track. I made the mistake. I told my kids we got that. I was like, I'm going to go in to get us a house, guys.
Oh, God. Here goes Daddy. Watch Daddy. He's going to go get a bear.
I had to go back and be like, your dad's a loser, kids.
Ed's in Myrtle Beach. What's up, Ed?
Hey, Dave and Dr. John. Thanks for taking my call. I'll get right to it.
Okay.
I'm 61 years old. Got divorced 9 years ago. The divorce agreement or settlement was I would keep all the assets. I own a small business and have owned it for 35 years. A paid-for house, paid-for business property. And in return, I would give my wife $500,000, paid for $3,500 a month. And I've been doing that for quite a few years. I've got it down to $130,000 now. And every month, obviously, that $3,500, bothers me to pay her. And I go back and forth about just paying it all off. I called her, offered her pay it off in full with a little bit of a discount. She didn't accept that. So I said, okay, I'll just keep paying you. And, I'm to the point in my life, I'm 61 years old.
How long ago was that?
Probably about a year ago.
Okay. All right. And how much do you have? How much money do you have?
I have $1.1 million in our retirement. I just got remarried on Valentine's Day this past year, and we have $1.1 million and $70,000 as an emergency fund.
And your real estate's worth what?
My house is worth about $450, maybe a little more, and my business property is probably worth about $400, and then my business, if I sold that, that'd be worth anywhere between $1.5 and $2 million.
Oh, so you got a net worth around $5 million, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, pretty much.
And you can gain out of $5 million, you can gain yourself a ton of peace and a whole new look on a brand new relationship if you write a $130,000 check.
Yeah.
Do it.
Yeah.
Do it.
I'm going to do it. I was hoping you'd say that, and I just stayed on the phone for an hour and 15 minutes to get on and talk to you. I wanted to hear it from you, Dave.
No, I'm sorry. It's John's hard to get through to, but yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry you had to hold for something that this is the final salute to that part of the past.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
I'm a little shocked she won't take a discount, but that's
you
okay.
do something fun?
She just won't. I don't know.
If she would have, y'all still be married. Hey, you want to do something fun?
Yeah.
This next month, you're going to write this check by Monday of next week. And
all right,
when April 1st comes around, I want you to get a check out and write $3,500 and let your new wife see it, and then hand it to her.
She's in the back.
She heard it. She's cheering.
She heard you say that.
Because I tell you what, as much as you hate writing that $3,500 check every month, that makes your new wife's skin crawl, man.
Yeah.
I can hear her yelling. She's in the background. So great. That'll be the best $3,500 you ever spent in your life, man.
Yeah, you ought to do something to celebrate. Yeah, that much of your past being in the past.
We're already in Myrtle Beach for 3 months.
There you go. Okay. So, well, go out to eat and buy you an expensive bottle of wine or something. But yeah, write a check, be done with it. There's an amount of peace and closure and finality and all those kinds of things that's going to come when you do this you can't even anticipate, because you're a business guy and you run numbers all the time, and you're not going to catch how emotional this is until you actually do it. It's going to be like, oh, that's really done. I'm really done with her. She is X.
Yes.
XXX.
This has been a very protracted 10-year divorce.
Exactly. Yeah.
And just the thought of calling and saying, hey, I'm going to write you a check. Will you take this instead? And her saying no. That's like she's still controlling things, you know.
That's the only reason she did it.
Right. Oh, man.
Yeah.
Write the check.
She actually wanted the money.
Write the check, man. Be free.
Freedom.
Hey, I don't think we've ever done a
debt-free scream,
divorce-free scream, but
I'm a divorce-free scream.
We could probably do it for you.
What do you? Yeah.
We do those in the parking lot.
Alimony free.
We do those in the parking lot.
Wow. All right. Corey's with us. Corey's in Salt Lake
City.
City.
Off the rails.
Corey, this is what happens when you get in towards the end of the show. It digresses. What's up?
I really enjoyed listening. Thank you for taking my call.
Sure.
It's a pleasure to talk to you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Hope you're doing better than you deserve as well.
We are, sir. Thank you very much. How can we help you, sir?
Well, thank you. So just for a bit of context for you, right now I'm in baby step 2, and I'm going to have my car paid off in about the next month.
Good.
And that will be the last of my debt.
Way to go.
Thank you. Appreciate that. And then at the end of this year, I'll have baby step 3 completed, or I'm projecting to, with about $20,000 in my emergency fund. So next year, I'm going to I'll resume my 401k investing and putting some money away from my kids' college funds.
Excellent.
And my question is, we're eventually going to need to get a bigger house to accommodate our growing family.
Mm-hmm.
And right now, I have a 7-year adjustable rate mortgage. If I could go back in time, I wish I could take that back, especially with this climate. But I'm kind of have what I'm dealt with. But I'd like to do that in the next 3 to 5 years, just before the adjustable period begins. And at that time, I'll have about $1,000 a month extra in my margin in our budget.
Mm-hmm.
And the way I'm seeing it, I have 3 different options. The first one is I'd like to either put that extra money towards our principal on our existing mortgage, save that in a high-yield savings account, and then withdraw it when the time comes for that bigger house, or take on a bit of more risk or gain potential by investing in a brokerage account. I was just curious to know what your thoughts were on that.
Well, you explained the baby steps to us, which means you have some familiarity with what we teach. Baby step 1 is $1,000 saved, a starter emergency fund. 2 is debt-free, except for the house. That's where you're getting ready to be. 3 is you need an emergency fund before we do any of this of 3 to 6 months of expenses. Once you've got that, then you're in 4, 5, and 6 simultaneously. 4 is 15% of your income going into retirement, as you talked about. And 5 is kids' college, as you talked about. And 6 is pay off your house. And we tell people pay it on the principal. Just pay your house off, man. And even if you don't get it paid off, when you sell it, they give you a check for the equity.
Yeah.
You didn't lose the money. It's all right there stored in the house. You don't accidentally spend it or accidentally lose it or buy a bass boat with it or anything. It's right there in the house, okay? And then when the house sells, they give you a check, and you use that check to move up into the next house when you get ready to do that. You're probably going to do that before this 7-year mark hits on this thing. You're probably going to sell it. But you will have reduced the principal, and you've got this nice nest egg then coming out of that house to move on to the next deal. You'll be glad you did that. It's what in the financial counseling world we call a forced savings plan. Because when you pay down on the mortgage, there's only 2 ways to get that money out of that house: refinance or sell it. And both are very cumbersome. Therefore, you will not impulse a bass boat or a 30-day cruise or whatever it is that you're a Porsche, whatever it is you're getting ready to impulse. Instead, you keep doing smart things with it, which is like getting ready to do the next house. You got a really good thought train going overall, Corey. All we're doing here in this conversation is fine-tuning it. I'm real proud of you. You keep it up. Our scripture of the day is Ecclesiastes 10:10. If the axe is dull and its edge unsharpened, more strength is needed, but skill will bring success. Dr. Stephen Covey used to talk about sharpen the axe, don't be a tree beater. Abraham Lincoln said that some achieve great success is proof to all that others can achieve it as well. Well, there you go. When you hear a debt-free scream, it should give you hope that you can too. A brand new event we're doing. Dave Ramsey's Investing Essentials. I'm going to be doing a deep dive into investing. I'm teaching it. It's 2 hours a night for 2 nights, a total of 4 hours, May 21 and 22. It is not a duplicate. It is a series. over 2 nights. It's virtual. It's a live stream. It's $199, and I'm going to unpack my personal playbook on investing, the principles that I use to decide what I invest in, the formulas that I use in real estate, how I do my real estate, how I do my mutual funds, and you can learn from that and decide if you want to do it. The friends that I run with on investing stuff are people of 20, 30, $50 million, $100 million net worths. I know what they do. I know the inside workings of what they do. A lot of them know what I do. And I've learned a lot from people like that. I'm going to share it with you. And this is not a broke TikTok guy with an opinion. This is a guy who does it. I own several $100 million worth of real estate. So how did I do that? So we're going to show you and talk about it. We're going to do the basics, too, like 401ks and mutual funds. RamseySolutions.com/events to get signed up. This is a live stream, $199, May 21 and 22, 2 hours each night, a total of 4 hours of material. George Campbell's going to be in there with me, helping me, and helping you because he can translate from Dave to human. All right. Ashley is in Houston,
He's
Texas.
fluent in millennial.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, human to millennial. There we go. Ashley's in Houston. Hi, Ashley. How are you?
I'm good. How are y'all doing?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
Oh, yes. So I guess I'll jump into it. I'm very new to this. I've been looking into for the last 3 weeks and kind of just started, learning about my finances and how bad I'm off. So I am on baby step number 2. I have $1,000 saved up.
Good.
Yeah, I was really proud of that. I was really excited that
Well, you really are doing it. I mean, this is not,
Yeah,
I thought
yeah.
you were just discussing it as theory, but yeah, you're really doing it. You know what
No,
it is. You know what baby step 2 is. You did the first step, and it's been only 2 weeks. Way to go.
Yeah, it was really exciting. My husband's proud of me too. So even though we're joint effort, of course. But
Good.
I just started calculating my debt a couple days ago. I'm $73,000 jointly, my husband and I. Most of it's student loans. We did just find out, though, that my husband, I have a feeling he's probably going to have back surgery. He's a stay-at-home dad. He stays home with our 3-year-old and our 1-year-old. So if he ends up having to do this, I'm going to have to take off work to help him. I mean, it's just what I have to do, and I have to help watch the kids. And the way my work works, I mean, I only have so much PTO, about 30 hours, and then I'm going to have to kind of pay out of pocket for things. And I'm anxious. I was excited, and now I'm just stressed.
Okay.
I don't know if
How far away is the back surgery?
So we're not sure yet. We're just starting to do tests now to see if there, some things that he's going to be able to do, but it's looking like it's going to have to happen. I mean, he's barely walking these
Let's
days.
not worry about it until we worry about it. So you need to know, I've got a set date in September he's going in for surgery. Okay?
Right.
When we know that, what you do is you push pause on the baby steps.
Okay.
Because you're now in emergency mode. You have a serious storm cloud on the horizon. Lightning is cracking. Okay?
Right.
So we're going to batten up the hatches, and what that means is we're going to push pause. We're going to be on a very, very, very tight budget. You're going to work as much as you can work, and you're going to sell as much as you can sell, because the bigger the pile of cash you have going into his back surgery, the easier this whole thing's going to be.
Right, yeah, because I don't want to get in any more debt that I already am in.
No, we're not going to get in debt. We're going to put him all the way in. I mean, we're going to have a big old pile of cash. You're going to use up your PTO. You're going to have groceries in the cabinets, and then when he's able to get up and get moving around, you're able to get back to work as soon as possible. Then you can push play again, and any money you haven't used from this pile, you'll just throw that at the debt, and you won't have lost any ground.
Okay.
But if you use some of it, you will have lost ground, right?
Right.
But here's a cool idea. He turns around and is back up and moving, and you're back at work before you have to spend a dime of the savings.
Yeah.
That'd be neat.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
That'd be a blessing.
Yeah, that'd be then all the savings, you didn't lose a single drop of traction. But if you spend $2,000 out of $10,000, then you lost that much traction. But so what? We got his back surgery. We're the other side of it, and it's not a complete stress point.
Right.
Okay.
Don't worry about it until it's,
Yeah, as soon as you know the date certain, or it looks like sometime in the fall, we're going to do September, October, the doc comes back and says that, and it's 100% chance we're doing it, then you push pause and get in, I'm piling up cash. The more cash I've got, the better I can survive this storm.
Okay.
And an antidote to the anxiety you feel. Like sometimes we're anxious about things that we're imagining are coming. The thing that's coming at y'all is actually happening, right?
Right.
An antidote to that anxiety is taking every question you have and writing it down and making sure you don't let a doctor visit go by. You're giving them $1 jillion anyway. Ask every question you have, from what's estimated time of recovery, what's the cost of this thing going to be, start to finish, what's the final check we have to write.
What have we got to do to make sure insurance covers all of it?
Get all of the data that you need. And then you're not wondering in the middle of the night, we have to do this, we have to do. You'll know, no, we need to get $7,000 or we need to get $4,200, whatever the number is.
You'll be able to figure it out.
That's right. You begin to have an actual thing to aim at and not just all over the place.
Yeah. What do you know about the insurance coverage you have?
So my deductible is $1,500 and my out-of-pocket is $11,000.
Okay. So that's our max.
Right.
Yeah.
So it won't be
what
more
do you
than
make?
the $11,000. So I make $88,000.
Okay. All right. And you have currently you said you have $70,000 in debt?
Roughly, yes.
Okay. So worst case scenario, you're the other side of this, and including medical, if you don't have to have money to eat with, you run up $11,000 of out of pocket. So now you're $81,000. That's your worst case.
Okay. Yeah.
You can do this.
And one final antidote to anxiety is ask yourself this when you have those scary thoughts in the middle of the night. What if it all works out? We're real good about asking, okay, what are we going to do when this goes bad and this goes bad and this goes bad? But we rarely stop and say, what if this works out?
I can never say that word. Catastrophizing?
Catastrophizing, yeah.
Is that how you say it?
Yeah. And that's our bodies do that to keep us alive.
I can't say it because I can't do it.
Yeah. You're pretty good at it. Pretty good at it.
I'm good at it.
Yeah, most of us are pretty good at it. Dave has a genetic mutation where he doesn't understand catastrophe. It's always going to work out, and it just does. But I live in that world, and I've had to learn to ask myself.
Wait a minute. Did you just call my parents a name?
No. I was saying,
What'd you say about a genetic mutation?
But the chances of it working out may be great.
Mutant turtle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Got to look at the positives of it.
Yeah.
You're going to be fine. You're going to be okay, Ashley. It's going
Thank
to work.
you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, you lay it out. And hey, if you're in the middle of all this and it gets to freaking you out, just give us a call. We'll walk you through the numbers.
Okay. Yeah. I'm learning so much, honestly, in the past 3 weeks. I subscribed to every email possible, everything.
Where people get freaked out on all of this is they get down in the trees and they can't see the forest. And so what we do so much of on this microphone is we're just up above the forest and we can just see it real clear because we don't have any fog, we don't have any trees in our way. And if you can stay up above it like that, that's what John's talking about, then your stress level will be down and your decision making will be much, much wiser. So you're in good shape. Pile up cash as soon as you know you're really going to have to do this. That's the answer to the question. That puts this hour of The Ramsey Show in the books. We'll be back with you before you know it. In the meantime, remember, there's ultimately only one way to financial peace, and that's to walk daily with the Prince of Peace, Christ Jesus.